It's Automatica 22 and we're launching Motorcortex as a software as a service. Motorcortex is a powerful software suite to create custom motion control solutions for series products such as robot arms, mobile robots or any given machine. Customers of Synapticon SomaNet products will be able to access Motorcortex at the click of a button, coming at a software update to all customers soon. We actually have a demo here on the booth, so let's come and take a look.
So Motorcortex is two parts. It has a real-time system that does motion control, and another part is in the cloud where you manage your projects, you can do configuration management and deploy from there to your device, to your robot for instance. Motorcortex is meant for mass deployment, so large numbers of systems. So it's meant for OEMs that build robots in series, where PLC is not really manageable and not really an option. Motorcortex has a deployment system, so it has an online portal where also people can collaborate and share projects. All the tools of Motorcortex live in the cloud. We have tools for EtherCAD management. We have tools for user interface creation and deployment. We have tools for configuration management, and we have tools for data analysis. And if you want, I can show you a little bit of these tools. Okay, now I'll show you how I deploy a robot application, for instance. I have only one axis here available, so we simulate 5 axes and we use one real axis. So a robot application consists of 3 parts. We have an application which we deploy first. So now we can deploy this to our robot controller target. And that's that. Next we deploy a configuration. We take a robot for a Hyundai robot, for instance. We deploy this configuration as well. And then last but not least, we can deploy a user interface. And once everything is deployed from the cloud to the target, we can unplug the cloud and this robot is now installed. So I can now browse to the robot user interface and I start this user interface. The robot is now running. Actually, it's connected to OneDrive. I first have to reference the axis so the robot is in the right position. I can switch it on. This is our graphical user interface, which we use for our end customer can program his own programs. So I'm loading a ready-made program that I already made. We can deploy this program to the robot and we start moving the robot. And in this case we move actually one real axis and all other axes are simulated. We simulate everything down to the EtherCAD level, so you can actually debug information as well. And for that we have a tool in the cloud called Desk. And with Desk you can visualize all the signals that are available in your robot application. For instance, all the joint positions are plotted. And in this case we have one real joint and the other ones are simulated. So you can look at all the data in the application in real time, and it's very interactive, so it's perfect for debugging any issues during development of new robotic systems. We also have an EtherCAD configuration tool that you can use to configure your EtherCAD drives. So here we have 6 SomaNet nodes configured, of which one is an actual node and the other 5 are simulated. We can, if we want to have 2 real axes and 1 simulated axis, or 4 simulated axes and 2 real axes, we can drag and drop from the simulation group to the real group and then deploy this configuration, and then we could test the real application with 2 robot axes available. One part of an application is a user interface. And we made that very flexible, that the interfaces we develop, for instance for a robot application, our clients can also configure and redesign themselves. So I'll show you that. We have a robot user interface. I load it in our interface editor in the browser. And while I'm editing it, it's actually already still connected to the real robot and following its movement. So we can rearrange our interface, we can create new pages and add controls to it, like buttons, switches, lamps, and we can, for instance, connect this to our gripper that this robot is using. And when we're happy with our user interface, we can easily deploy it to the controller with one click, and then it's deployed at our customer site. So we try to create an effortless system that is not as complicated as a PLC, and it has ready to run apps that you can just install. We have apps for AGV, for robots, and a generic app for generic machines.